Hey, thanks for clicking on this Zentangle Quickie. Oh, it's moving my camera like crazy here. Welcome. Thanks for clicking, and I hope you enjoy this. My name is Heather Hartwick Gladden. I'm a Certified Zentangle Teacher, and today we are going to look at Tripoli for our Zentangle Quickie. Now, Tripoli is a series of triangles, and I had difficulty with this one until I went to our CZT training, and it was and we were talked through it essentially. Actually, we did it without even looking at the step outs. It was just verbal, and it was really interesting, and helped me also to understand the power of how we describe things. So that is why, if you watch any of my other videos, I have done this in my other life, teaching music lessons. We'll have a plethora of analogies, and we'll see what sticks, type of thing. So this one, so if you just want to follow along, start off with drawing. Pick a place on on your tile or your paper, whatever you're working on. I'm using a bijou tile, which is about 2 by 2, and I'm going to use this Micron 01. You can decide what size you want your triangles to be, but just starting out with a simple straight line, whatever length you want. Then complete to the triangle from there. And you can do that in whatever direction that you want. Oh, that's easy enough. Completed triangle. Now pick one of the 3 sides and aura that one side. And so into aura, if you don't know, is like outlining. So as you can see, I'm outlining that one line and working to, keep it the same length. So once that is auraed, then complete that triangle. Easy enough. Now, we've got a multitude of lines now, so the outside lines that you can pick and aura. Same thing. Picking this line here. Okay, good. Now, finish the triangle. Pick another line. I'm going to come down here just because I want to. Aura. And finish the triangle. So every time, it's the same thing. It's rinse and repeat. But if you focus on just picking a line, auraing it, then finish the triangle. Now, and I share this because if you are I consider myself non-artist, and if you consider yourself in that way also, then I hope that this helps. So then I always end up not always. Sometimes I end up with a weird section like this. And then it's just like, same thing. Pick a side, aura it, finish the triangle in that space. And it's fine. Again, and then, so we're just going to continue this until we fill up the space. Now, one of the things with Zentangle is this is just, it's pen and ink, no prepping, just doing. And, because I know a lot of people, well, we all have this thing. Oh, I'm not going to say all because I can't say all. May have, the perfectionistic tendencies. And so, we want things to be straight. We want to see, I've ended up with that weird bit again. And you know what? It's okay. At some point, it's like, well, maybe I'll figure out at some point what it is that I need to do that will help me to not have that odd shaped piece. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. And getting back to a lot of times we have these perfectionistic tendencies, and one thing that I find with Zentangle is sometimes it's somewhat difficult to not worry about them, or just to let them go and not to let that rule. And and let me back up with this. We're not aiming to create these shapes either. Like a pie shape. We're not aiming for that at all. This is just packing in a bunch of triangles, however they might fit, and that's fine. you know, it's always nice to have them be nice and, you know, and symmetrical and things, but it's not necessary. So we just fill this as, you know, like I said, as much as we can. And I started, and then I, you know, went down some different paths where I think normally, you know, I would just keep growing out of what I had already worked on. That one's going to go off of the page there. But like I said, sometimes, you know, we have to not worry about the, you know, the perfection so much. And it is one of the neat things about Zentangle is maybe working to not feel perfectionistic and to embrace whatever happens. And it's okay. And then we work with it. And I'm taking mine like off the page. So like even here, you know, let's see. Well, I think I just might leave it just like it is and not worry about that at all. I'll do one here. Like I said, and I'm kind of taking them off the page. Yeah, I probably could draw like a big thin one or something here. Maybe that's what I'll do. We'll just see what that looks like. Oh, or that line. Oh, and then I could do a little one right here. I kind of decided to not to kind of go off of my normal thing, which, like I said, is just to grow, you know, outside of, you know, I do one and then I kind of go around in this, you know, kind of in a, well, it's sort of a circle, or really it's a hexagon. And, you know, and then go from there instead of, you know, jotting out a different area. But sometimes it's neat to do that because then we can explore, just to see what happens, just to explore. So I encourage you, if you have a tendency and you really want to use a ruler, or maybe you are using a ruler or graph paper or something, I encourage you to just step out a little bit and give it a try. And just, you know, pen and ink, just, you know, no safety net, and just give it a try. And it's kind of freeing. It really is. All right, so we have these lovely triangles, this lovely Tripoli here. And there are a bunch of ways you can decorate them. And I'm going to show you, let's say 3 of them, because that's what I have on my step outs. Well, one of them I could do with all of these, I do believe. And that is to simply, like in the middle, you know, of each straight line, put a couple straight lines, and almost like whoops. Yeah, and then if you kind of go over, then just go with it. And it's almost like we're making a little bridge. You know what? I'm going to flip to my 8. That'd be easier. And just to you just kind of go every straight line, and it just kind of connects them. And what's neat about the decorating part is regardless of what happened, so if you have some imperfections that you don't like, then it's okay, because then once we decorate them, then all of the imperfections kind of disappear. And this one I'm going to just put like as if it was there, as if that was there. So it's like just kind of in the middle. And so I went off of my tile here because what I would most likely normally do is I would be working, if I was working on a tile where we usually do the 4 corners and then we divide up the space after we make a border. And what I like to do is to work within my space and use the halabau technique to essentially draw behind. So here, like I've drawn off the page, but off the page is essentially, if I had a border, it would be, underneath that border. So you see how this is kind of looking neat. Just adding this little line in between. It kind of, to me, it looks, I don't know, a little like 1950-ish, sprockety. That's the word that I have in my head. But it looks really neat. So we have that. that is one way. And like I said, we don't have to do that. But, you know, once I started, now it's like, okay, I gotta finish these. And so then there's also inside the triangles. So inside, I'm going to go back to my 01 a couple ways. And let's see, well, maybe I'll do like half and half or something. So one way is we'll draw a series of curved lines. And so I kind of, well, you can play with how curved you want them. But so I'm going to draw it, so curved like this. So I'm kind of hugging just a smidge of the outside of the triangle itself. So I'm kind of tracing over that a little bit and then coming down on the other side doing the same thing. Then I'm going to turn my tile and do the same thing here. And then once again. And so if you hug a little bit of that, of the edge, then you get these little loops. It makes me think of a spirograph. And well, no, they did make a comeback, so I guess I'm not completely dating myself. But so that's, you know, that's one of the things that you can do. I'll do this whole, this little section here. And I do like to turn my tile every time, so that way, well, partly because my hand likes to curve a certain way, and so if I have my hand in pretty much the same position, and I'm just curving it, I'm trying to not have the tile flip out of my hand while I'm writing. That's the challenge with these little bijou tiles. And then also making it so you can see. You know, and two with this, I think I've done this before where, well, you know, let me save it for afterwards. Okay, so that's one way. And, oh, let me do, oh, I'll start over here. Another way is to aura on the inside and, you know, so making another triangle on the inside here. And then connecting the corners. So this corner to here, and then to here, and then to here. And this, well, I try to make them, you know, the same size, but, you know, sometimes that doesn't always happen. I was about to say, you can make them any size you want. They can either be like really small, you know, that's, again, it's totally up to you. And so what's neat about this is it creates that kind of beveled look. Well, it helps if you get it right in the corner there, but that's okay. You are getting my drift. We'll do one more here. You know, and two, you can always leave them plain. Now, additionally to these, I have seen where, we'll say, and shading, of course, the shading on these, then you could do the inside. Another thing that you can do is, like I've seen where we add like a little orb, a colored in orb, or actually, because these are so small, you know, I'm just kind of coloring in that center. These, same thing, where you could draw an orb like this, color it in, but you're leaving the little triangles that end up on the sides when we're drawing a nice little orb. So that's something that you can, as an extra thing that you could do. So those are some ideas. And then for shading, a lot of times you might shade shade the whole area. Or like in the case of this in particular, you could, let's see, let me just color in this with the graphite. Let me try this with this one, just to give you an idea. And then I'm just going to, you know, smudge the graphite around, but I'm going to spread it out just a little bit, just up. It gets a little dicey when we're trying to, you know, when we're doing this so small. So let's see if that, yeah, so you can see that. So that's one way. You could do the inside, or, oh, let me think. Oh, here. I'm going to put some on the outside. So when you think about shading, it's, you know, when it's dark, it's pushed down, and where it's light, it's brought up. Get a little bit thinner one here. And so I'm going to just smooth this because I want to have a little bit of a gradient. Yeah. And so just smudging it out a little bit again so I get that gradient. And so then it can look like it's peeking up. Now, and that's kind of what I was trying to do here, similarly, but I want to just try one other thing. Where's another one? Oh, here's another one. Yeah, I'm going to put graphite down on this bottom one. And just around the edges. And, well, and I guess it's kind of the same look as that then. I kind of went out where I was thinking, having it where it looks like it's sinking down or sloping down. So those are some things that you can play with them. That takes a lot. But if they're bigger, then it's easier to work with shading and making them all, look neat. But those are some ideas. And again, you can shade the whole area if you like. It's a really, really fun tangle, super versatile, nice for just, filling in a section, or this is, kind of one of those that I find myself doing if I'm, that other people say, oh, look at, she's doodling again. And it's just, sitting in maybe I'm taking notes or listening to something, and I can kind of do this a little bit up on the side of my notes or something and have fun. And it's not so involved that you have to concentrate super hard, but it's a really neat tangle. And, and so I hope you enjoyed. I hope you give it a try, and feel free to leave comments in the comment section. In the description, I will have a link to the step out, as well as links to connecting if you wish to connect. We have a nice Facebook group. You can follow my blog on my website, and of course, if you like this enough and want to subscribe, that's always appreciated also, as well as shares and all of that stuff. So thanks so much, and happy tangling.